Welcome back to another YouTube video. In this video, I'm going to be breaking down the best way, the most strategic way to start making 10K a month using prop firms. Now, that's everybody's goal, right? Is to start making 10K a month using prop firms with your live capital, whatever you prefer. That's the first goal, right? Everyone's first goal is 10K a month. I want to make 10K a month. Here is the most strategic way to start making 10K a month using prop firms. I created this Google Doc for you guys, this highly descriptive Google Doc that took me hours to make. This took me literally hours to make, typing all this up. But anyway, here is the best way to make 10K a month using prop firms. Now, whatever traders you follow, whichever ones you guys are probably seeing them, like them copy trading 20, 30 accounts, which is completely fine. That is amazing that they're copy trading 20 and 30 accounts. And that's how they're getting these 50, 60, 70, 80K payouts, these huge 5-figure payouts, is because they're trading so many accounts. However, they did not start out like that. They did not start trading with 20 accounts, with 30 accounts. That's not how it works. You have to climb the ropes, right? You have to climb the ladder. You have to build yourself. Like I said, I'm going to be going over the best way to start making 10K a month using prop firms. So step number one is stick to one prop firm in the start, right? This is something that I struggled with and something that I had to figure out on my own, right? So I would, like, when I first started out, I started with Top Step. And I would have accounts from Top Step. I'd have accounts from Apex. I'd have accounts from My Funded Futures. Back when I started, all these firms were not out, Alpha, Lucid. But I started out with Top Step and Apex and My Funded Futures, and I had different accounts. And I didn't know how to copy trade them right. So I would literally, I'm dead ass, I would literally be trading on my computer and swiping through the different fucking tabs of different brokers. That's what I would be doing. So I'd, enter along on Top Step, swipe over, enter along on My Funded, swipe over, enter along on Apex. It was so hard to manage, and it honestly fucks you over if you are trading with different prop firms and not copy trading. Now, an argument made for trading with different prop firms when you're using a platform like TradeSyncer or Tradecopia, right? Because you're copy trading it through these websites and these softwares that have you copy traded all these accounts. However, in the start, it is best to just start with one prop firm, whichever one you want to do. Alpha, Top Step, Lucid Trading, Tradeify, Apex, My Funded Futures, Take Profit Trader, whichever one you want to start with one. Once you have started with one, you want to get the max allocation on whatever size accounts and whatever type of account. So I'm going to use Alpha Futures for an example. Let's say on Alpha Futures, let's put this in red. Let's say on Alpha Futures, I start with Alpha Futures. On Alpha Futures, you can have up to 3 accounts at a time. Let's say I get 3 50K 0 accounts. So 3 50K 0 accounts. Let's say I load up on these, which $270. $270 for 3 50K 0 accounts all in. And if you pass them, you don't have to pay the activation fee because it's a 0 account. You want to get max allocation on whatever accounts, right? And you want to just start trading these 3 accounts, right? You just want to start trading these 3 accounts. For another example, right? Let's say you want to use Lucid Trading, right? Lucid Flex accounts, Lucid Flex 50Ks, right? So let's say you want to use Lucid Flex 50Ks. You can hold up to 5 of these. Let's say 5 Lucid Flex 50Ks. You can hold up to 5 of these. They're always running discounts. I'm not sponsored by them, but they're always running discounts. I'm pretty sure they have like 50% off right now. Always running discounts. So you guys get the idea. You want to get whatever max allocation with whatever size accounts, and obviously you want to begin to pass them. This might take you a while. If you guys are experienced and know how to trade and you've passed these accounts before, this should be simple, right? We want to trade these aggressively, right? We want to trade these aggressively because the goal is to start to get payouts. So we want to trade these fast, or we want to trade these aggressively, and we want to pass these fast. So let's say 5 Lucid Flex 50K. That's what we're trading. You want to get max allocation. Once these are all passed, you want to copy trade all these accounts. Like I said, you want to be once you get to the funded stage. So let's say once we get the 5 Lucid Flex 50Ks, we want to begin to copy trade them on the funded stage, right? This is past the evals. Begin to trade them on the funded stage. What I do, me personally, I love 50Ks. That's what I trade. I have a few 100Ks that I trade, but I usually just risk the same amount on the 100K. On the 50Ks, I am risking anywhere from 2 to 5 micros on a trade, depending on the size, right? Most of the time, I'm risking around $250 to $300 a trade. That is what I recommend, right? Because if you are risking $250 on a trade, and most drawdowns on 50Ks are $2,000, that would take you 10 losses in a row to below your account, right? That would take you 10 losses in a row. So you're keeping your risk low, but also with the flex 50Ks, like 150 plus days. Now, most accounts you'll have to get like 5 days of $200 or more. When you're risking 250, all you have to hit is a 1-to-1. Most of these accounts, right? So this is just an example for the 5 Lucid Flex 50Ks, but for most of these accounts, you do not need to get max payouts on every single account every single time. Obviously you can, right? You can, you're just gonna make more money, which, hey, that's what we're all here to do. We're all here to make more money. Let's use Top Step for an example. Top Step is probably one of the bigger firms, right? I think they're pretty dog shit, but max payout is $5,000 across each account. So that's $25,000 across 5 accounts. You do not need to get 5K. You can, obviously, but I'm just saying this is just to make 10K. So let's say you have 5 accounts. All you need to do is make $2,000 per account times 5, right? That's $10,000 in payouts every single time. And you can request it, I'm pretty sure on Top Step every 5 days, or it might be every 2 weeks. I could be wrong. I don't use Top Step anymore. So $2,000 times 5 accounts obviously equals $10,000, right? So you need to request $2,000 times 5 accounts, which is equal to $10,000. So let's say this, like I said before, on Top Step, you need to have 5 days of $200 plus. I think it's 150 now. I'm pretty sure it's 150. So 5 days of 150 plus. And if you're risking 250, even if you are hitting 1-to-1s every single time, 250 times 5 is, what is 250 times 5? $1,250. So 250 times 5 is $1,250. And that's if you're risking 250 and you're just hitting 1-to-1s. That's it. That's $1,250. Obviously on Top Step, you have to request 50% of your max profits. You are going to need to build a little bit of a buffer. Again, it all comes down to the type of trader that you are. So basically, if you want to keep the buffer the same and you want to have $2,000 in drawdown, you would have to get to $54,000 to request a $2,000 max payout, right? When we start out, we are at $50,000 in funding. You make $4,000 from trading. You make $4,000, right? And however long that takes you, you are now at $54,000 in funding, right? So now you have a $4,000 drawdown, right? Because your drawdown moves from $48,000 to $50,000. So now you are at a $4,000 drawdown. If you want to keep your buffer, it just depends on the type of trader you are, how aggressive you are, how much you want to risk. You would request 50% of your max payouts and then rinse and repeat, right? So once you request the 2,000, that's 10K, and then you can rinse and repeat. You can make 20K a month, you can make whatever, or you can split it up, right? So you can, I don't suggest doing this, but let's say you make $2,000. You're at $52,000, and this takes you a week or whatever it is. You can request a $1,000 payout, right? And now you're at $51,000. However, your buffer is only $1,000, so I do not recommend doing this. I recommend getting $2,000 to $3,000 buffer and then beginning to request payout. But again, very simple. You guys probably already knew this, but it's very, very simple to start to make 10K a month using prop firms, right? When you are on a budget, especially. When you are on a budget and you're like, man, I don't want to spend like $1,000, $2,000 on all these fucking prop firms and get 20 different accounts. All you have to do is just get max allocation on one prop firm, and that's all you have to use. On any prop firm you get max allocation, you can begin to make 10K a month and more easily. This is super important. Best account sizes for different types of traders. There's all different types of traders out there. People who are aggressive, people who don't like to play it aggressive, people who don't risk as much, people who risk more than the normal individual. And there are traders out there who are not scared, but who don't perform as well when they have small drawdown, right? So if you are getting a 50K, on most 50Ks, you only have, most of the time, you only have a $2,000 drawdown, right? Until you begin to build the buffer, right? Some traders don't perform well with the $2,000 drawdown. They'd rather go with 100K and have a $4,000 drawdown or 150K, right? So it all depends on the type of trader you are. If you are the type of trader that doesn't like to have a small drawdown, I would go with 100Ks and 150Ks. If you are the type of trader to trade aggressively and blow accounts quick, I would also go with 100 and 150Ks. Reason being is you have more of a buffer to play with, but it's also, they are more money. So there are some traders that I know sometimes like to get one payout from a 50K and then trade it really aggressively. And if they blow it, they just buy another 50K, pass it real quick, and rinse and repeat, right? They get one payout, blow it, rinse and repeat. Some traders like to do that, right? When we're on a budget, and you guys might not have a lot of money to spend, which is fine. I didn't have a lot of money to spend on prop firms. The best thing that you can do is get 100 or 150Ks, right? Because if you build big enough buffer, again, you could just risk 2 to 5 micros every single time, get your 5 winning days, and then request another payout and just rinse and repeat. And you could keep those accounts until you get moved to live, and then you have to start all over. The last step is beginning to scale. So once you start making 10K a month plus using prop firms with just one prop firm and getting max allocation on one prop firm, you want to begin to scale. This is how you see all the people with, 20, 30, 40 accounts on different prop firms, like all throughout different prop firms, especially Apex with 20. You can add it with Top Step, there's another 5. You can add it with Lucid, there's another 5. You can add it with all these accounts. You begin to just rinse and repeat this process. So let's say after you pass the 5 50Ks on Top Step, right? You're like, okay, I want to get 5 50Ks on Lucid, right? So now I have 10. Let me pass those real quick. Now I have 10 funded 50Ks, right? I have 10 funded 50Ks. Okay, rinse and repeat the process. Let me go to Apex. Let me get all 20 of these. Okay, now I have 20 of 50K Apex accounts. It's very, very simple, and it's not hard to complicate. It really isn't. Before, it was super important kind of stick with the same account size. But now with softwares like TradeSyncer and Tradecopia, you can get 10 50Ks, you can get 5 100Ks, you can get a couple 150Ks, because you can adjust your risk on each of the separate accounts and do like 2x ratio or 3x ratio on all these accounts. So that doesn't really matter when you are beginning to scale. The main thing that we want to do is stick to one prop firm and get max allocation. Copy trade all these accounts, right? Remember that you do not need to get max payouts every single time. Build a buffer and continue to just rinse and repeat the payouts that you want, like $2,000, $2,500, however much you need to get that 10K, and then begin to scale, right? Begin to scale with the money that you make from prop firms. Reinvest this 10K. Do not just go out and spend it. Reinvest it into more prop firms to get more payouts, to get more accounts, so you can get those big 5-figure, 6-figure month. That's what we want to do. Very, very simple. Don't overcomplicate it. This is the best way to start making 10K a month using prop firm. Again, just stick to one prop firm. Do not use multiple. Do not flip between brokers and everything. Just use one prop firm. Again, the best one, in my opinion, is Alpha Futures. If you get the 50K standard accounts, bro, it is a 15K max payout. It's a 15K max payout. So you could literally just get 2 accounts, and request $5,000 max payouts every single time. Or $5,000 payouts, not max, but $5,000 payouts with just do account, and that hits 10K a month. Stick to the one prop firm. I highly suggest Alpha Futures. Use code Lucas for 10% off. We're always running discounts. Check my stories. That's gonna wrap it up here. This is the best way to start making 10K a month using prop firms on a budget. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. I hope you guys go take action right now. Get max allocation, right? And again, you have to follow your rules. You have to be disciplined. You have to be patient. This isn't like, oh, I can just go blow these accounts, right? You have to be disciplined. You have to know how to pass evals, right? I hope you guys go put this into action. It's about a game of patience and discipline. These prop firms, if you really know how to utilize them, absolutely fucking bank with these things. So I hope you guys enjoyed this video, and I will catch you in the next one.